Back Productions. Only reason why we're back. I'm so glad half of y'all could not see my live. I did not stop my live. I just stopped the show because I couldn't do anything through the live, and it's on my Lucretia Hughes page. Some of the stuff we was talking about is very, very, very heavy. So if my eyes look like they're red, because they are, because I cried and I cried. We talked on my page. So Nora, girl, you're still in my heart. I cannot let that go. But Saria Ivy called, and you know Saria Ivy is running for the GOP state chairwoman position for the Republican Party in the state of Georgia, and the election is next Saturday. So she called Dave. She was supposed to be here today, but she had her first Zoom debate with David Schaefer and Jason Shepard, and it's Saria Ivy. So we got three people, contenders, that want to become the Georgia State GOP chairperson. So on the phone with us right now is Saria Ivy. So go ahead and tell everybody what you said, Saria.
Hey, you guys, first and foremost, let me give a kudos and a shout out to all of you guys who have been girding up Lucretia and myself as we tackle this issue. Really, this is a new day in the Republican Party. We've been handed an opportunity to revamp and to establish and rebrand our party. Tonight was the first night that all three candidates got to get together, and I couldn't miss that opportunity because, as I said to you guys a month ago, I had some questions that needed to be answered. I don't take on tasks and opportunities unless I know all of the facts and get as much data as I can. And I had a question. With all the money that we've toted, that we've raised, it's awful curious to me that there's only 1.4 that's left. Now, we all know how elections are running, and y'all remember the question I asked. The question that I asked was, how much of that money was pass-through money and how much of it is operating expenses? Well, tonight I got my answer. The treasurer did, in fact, confirm that a lot of that money that was brought up was, in fact, earmarked or pass-through money. The reason that's significant is because the chairman's duty and responsibility is to raise money. Now, I will not take away from David Schaefer that he raised money. But there's one thing to represent what you did raise, and it's another thing to misrepresent what you did raise. And I don't know about any of you guys, but I am in a situation where my daughter is facing critical race theory. I'm in a situation where the cancel culture is creating hardship on my job. And I know that I'm not the only one. And I know that there's measures that I have in place, but does everybody have measures in place? And I'm about sick of individuals getting in here taking seats, claiming that they're people over party, but their actions and their demonstrations are otherwise. Now, anybody can handle a failure if there's a fight, but Georgia knows there was no fight. The messaging was weak. The chairmen that were of the parties were not doing their jobs. The parties in and of themselves had no support from the state. They had no direction and no training. And my thing is, everybody sued. Jason Shepard sued. I sued. Schaefer sued. Lawsuits hold people accountable. Voters win elections and get ideals in place. So when you're in a tumultuous situation like we are with the renegade Biden committee, and when you've got crazy people like Warnock sitting up in there trying to represent the devil on behalf of the people, you need somebody that can multitask, that won't just hold you accountable, but will take them things right out from under you. This is a war. You need a general. You need a warrior. And what I'm hearing is a whole lot of passing the buck and a whole lot of explanations for why we didn't do this. You guys deserve better than that. And tonight, we got to get it all out on the table. We got to get it all out on the table. I just wanted to tell you guys, listen, stay tuned to Lucretia Hughes' show. If you want the true, uncut, unadulterated truth about what's going on, she would blast me if I messed up. And I'm her sister. You stay tuned because you are hearing it straight-laced. This was a month ago we had this conversation, and now we're a month later, and it's being confirmed. And I just wanted to say what I've always said, Lucretia, and I'm going to say it because, you can't shut me down. But this is what I say to you. Thank you. Thank you for weathering storms, weathering oppositions, suffering ridicule, suffering persecution to create a platform for people like me to get heard when the rest of the world won't listen to what we have to say because it ain't pleasant, it ain't nice, but it's the truth. And that's what they say about you. You may not be pleasant in your words, but it's the truth. And it's time out for people to start looking at deception, closed as truth, and start looking at the butt-naked truth. And I celebrate you as my sister because you are an honest and an integral woman. And to every last one of you guys that contribute and that have donated, thank you so much. Running a campaign I didn't realize cost as much as it did. But everything that you guys have given and have done, I have done it on behalf of you. When we win, because even though it's my face, it's your voice that I'm carrying. And if the job's going to get done, we're going to have to do it together. This is not an Ivy moment. This is the people moment. And when we win, we going to win big in the party, and then we're going to take the state, because time's out for playing games.
All right, I hope y'all heard that. I tried to push the phone up to my, you don't understand, because my Lucretia Hughes page is being shadow banned. So I'm literally on my cell phone on one show, and then the other show Dave has it all. So people are trying to hear what you got to say. What happened to this? That just sucked. I know it, right? Just whatever. But thank you so much, Saria. I really appreciate it. And they was like, Saria need to be on the show. So Saria, people really wanting you on the show, but you got a week. So when you coming over?
Well, you know, I'm gonna be there this weekend, so I'll be up there. Like, we can do Monday. We'll talk. We can do it, because my last real engagement is tomorrow, and so I've kept this next week just sending out emails and making phone calls. So it's absolutely plausible for me to be on the show.
All right. Thank you so much. I thank you for coming back on the show. Y'all make sure if I'm gonna give Dave his phone back. Here, sweetie. Cotton and polyester. That is my Cotton, everybody. So like she said, she's in it to win it. And everybody out there, thank you so much for staying here. Hey, Miss Barb. Hey, Miss Barb, I miss you. Hey, Lisa, what is going on? Karen, what is going on? Rita, yes, amen. She is right. Don't start that, Miss Rita. You know how I feel about that. Just don't start that, Miss Rita. Yeah, I don't take compliments well. Hey, Sharon, what is going on out there, everybody? Thank y'all for coming back. Like I said, if you would have been on Lucretia Hughes page, we kept going after Dave shut the feed down and shut the show down. But Saria Ivy had called. But after everything that I said, and my eyes are bloodshot red. My eyes are bloodshot red. I cried. I've been crying a lot since I got off the show. And a lot of y'all, thank you so much for everyone that was on my Lucretia Hughes original page. That Nora, you're going to forever be in my I am so praying so hard for you tonight. And when I go to the altar of prayer, and when I start doing my meditations, ma'am, you're going to be there. You're going to be right in my head, and you're going to be right in my heart. Take that spirit of suicide and get away from it. Take that spirit of unforgiveness and get away from it. Take that spirit of bitterness and that spirit of hatred and forget about it, because the only person that's going to hurt is you. And you're going to have to go back to that little girl, each and every last one of us that ever went through that in life. And you're going to have to go back in your psyche, go back in your spiritual mind, go back in your mind's eye. And you have to look at that girl, and we all could do it. Because if you got a spirit of imagination, and if you can imagine anything, then you can imagine going back and talking to your younger self, and whatever turmoil or whatever place they are stuck in, you go back to that person, that child, and you get on your knees and you hold out your hand and you look at yourself and you forgive yourself, and you reach out and say, we made it. It's rough. It was hard, but we made it. So no more thinking that you're weak because somebody took your power.
And that you didn't do anything wrong.
And you didn't do anything wrong. Go get your power back. Take it back from any molester. Take it back from any mass murderer. Take it back from any psychopath. Take it back from any predator. Take it back from Satan, his dang on self. God gave you a spirit of free will to decide what you want to do. So now it's time for you to build yourself up bigger and stronger. Because if the sins of whoever touched you or whoever made you feel like a victim, if they didn't crush your spirit or kill your soul, you have a chance. So get back out there and get your power back. And never drop your head for an ass wipe. Never drop your head for a clown. And never drop your head for someone like that, because then you've already gave them the power and they still got it. Snatch that power back from anyone that's ever did you any kind of wrong. And if it happened to you when you was a child, boy or girl, man or woman, raped or not, If it means even in your mind's eye that you gotta whoop ass and you gotta pretend that you just beating him in the face, get the satisfaction. But do not leave your younger self behind, because your younger self needs that security blanket that you're supposed to give them in the first place. That is what it means to loving yourself no matter what you've been through. Because if you drop your head on being a victim when you had nothing to do with that and it's not your fault, then you're going to forever allow people to treat you like a victim and make you drop your head forever in life. Now that you're old enough to know the power of what it means to go back and talk to yourself and change the way you feel about yourself and the way you think about life, you can start all over anew. That is what it means by breathing a whole nother day. So people that think that their life don't mean anything, people that's on their last dollar, people that's on their last breath, if you wake up tomorrow and you rise and you shine, guess what? You got one more day to get it right.
God ain't done with you.
He is not done with you. And there's so many children out there that are literally trafficked, that's raped, that is pillaged, that is taken, that is kidnapped, that is sold. There's so many children and innocent people that think that they are literally victims and they don't know any better. It is for people like us that has walked through that has went through that fire and literally came out brand new. It's time for us to speak the truth in life into people that thinking that their life is over. So this is really the end of the show. I am going upstairs. I need to meditate and I need to go in myself and I need to put on something that God is all up in me. Because right now I need to shake this spirit off of me that's right here. This spirit of defeat. This spirit of heaviness. And this spirit of non-forgiveness. I gotta get rid of it myself, because just talking about what happened to me at the age of 6 and learning what happened to not only some men out there that has just said what happened to them, but Nora and everyone else and even Mac and Tina to tell me that they also had to go through the same thing. That's some heavy shit. So like I said, if you think what we're talking about is a laughing matter, you will never get through the Biden laptop. You won't even get through the first video, because that's exactly what you're about to see. And if you keep delving into his laptop, it's going to keep you up at night and it's going to break you down, because someone like that is protected by the highest office in the land and he can get away with murder and raping and pillaging countries and raping children. That is how strong, and this means war, because we are not fighting just against flesh and blood, but we are fighting against principalities and sinful ass people of the air. So on that note, everybody, we will be on periodically during the weekend. Y'all have a great week. Holla. Faded to black.
Here we go. She's on 5 to 7, 9 to 10 p.m. on the Range Broadcasting Fallback Productions. Talks about topics of the day and loves her country, the U.S. of A. Got her Get Right rally on tax day. Got family country Trump is her thing. She don't know the songs, gives Dave a hard time. Don't worry, it's fine, he's still her Valentine. Keeps us in the loop. Don't you know, sit back and enjoy the Lucretia Hughes